recording now. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Relationship Remix. I'm your guide and host, Ari Kardosh, and I am beyond thrilled to introduce everyone to the amazing Howard Glasser, the founder of the Nurtured Heart Approach. He's coming in live from Tucson, Arizona, and I am so thrilled. Like, you cannot understand how thrilled and honored I am to have you here, Howard. So welcome to the Relationship Remix.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
I want to just begin by introducing you to everyone in this. And we've got several hundred people tuning in from around the world. And over the course of whenever they can find time in this crazy period of life. But I'm really just, your work and the people who are passionate about your work that I've met have just been so amazing and impactful. And I'm like, you are on my bucket list of things I need to get trained in officially one day. This is like in the top 3 lists. So it's so cool. I'm like, oh my gosh, Howard's here. I feel so So I would love for you to just tell people a little bit about who you are, what you're passionate about, a little bit about your journey.
I started my work with kids, and difficult kids, intense kids, and I learned a lot of life lessons from them. And it turns out they apply to a lot of other things, like us, like our relationship within, our relationship with other human beings. You know, it's gone way beyond difficult kids. But
Yeah.
you know, I could say that's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about helping people to see that we have a superpower, to see the greatness in other human beings, that we not only can see it, but we can dial it in. You know, one realm of greatness reveals more. And the other thing that I'm passionate about is that our heart has always had the incredible ability to convert energy. We don't always engage that gear. We don't necessarily even know it. You know, we're here. Our hearts have handled everything in our life. And our heart has this ability to conspire. You know, if we allow it, if we engage that, we can take the things that haunt us, the things that could erode us, the energies of worry and doubt and fear, all the things that can be hurtful in relationship. We can take those very same things, and it could be the fuel of our fire. We can love on that energy instead of going, no, stay away from me. And we can convert that to our greatness and seeing the greatness in others. So that's fun. It's fun to do.
You make it sound so fun and easy too. So I'm definitely going to go there with you in a moment and ask you, okay, that sounds nice, but how the heck do you do that? But before we do, I want to make sure there's a lot of people who have maybe never heard of the Nurtured Heart Approach. And so I'd love to could you just give an overarching view of what is this thing that you created?
Yeah, it differs from other ways of interacting because it appreciates the beauty of energy and how the effect of energy. So I could say all day long to kids, I really want you to be respectful. You know, I care deeply about that value of respect. But in reality, when do we bring up that subject with a child? We might see children being respectful, and we might say good job, but we hardly show up in comparison to when things start going awry and when disrespect is happening. That's when we're poets. That's when we give the gift of us. We give our relationship so readily to what's wrong. And, you know, it makes sense that, you know, we just, if all we have at our disposal are ordinary ways of looking at things, that's what happens. We think that, you know, it's imperative for us to teach important lessons in life in the midst of problems. The problem is some kids imbibe that and they get transfixed, and they they come to believe that we're best engaged. We give better broadband. Nobody wants dial-up. We all want broadband. Some kids, especially intense kids, and we want intense kids because they're the most alive. So intense kids want more intense relationship. So, they can easily get the impression that we show up. We say we love respect, but we actually love disrespect because that's when we show up. Now, nobody would do that on purpose, of course, but accidentally, we fall into that spell. We fall into that abyss. So, that's maybe a nutshell of Nurtured Heart. It's about changing that around. It's about not allowing ourselves to get pulled into that pickle. It's about being very, very intentional and purposeful in going, no, I'm going to decide when I'm going to give the gift to me. I'm going to decide when I show up and when I don't show up. So I'm actually going to use my gravitational force for the good. I'm going to actually make it my mission to speak when I see all the things that I believe in: respect, honesty, etc. And I'm going to make that's going to be my hill to die on. And I'm not going to just say good job. I'm going to go and really deeply appreciate. Give my heart a voice.
So it sounds like what I'm hearing you say is that this work really focuses on putting your attention towards children, giving them this same amount of energy you might give them in this, like in a quote unquote negative situation, but you're giving to them all the time, or when they're doing things that that are more in line with values in the all the time moments, and helping them realize their greatness right then with true appreciation, not just like a pat on the head, good job thing.
Yeah. And my position, exactly. My position is that's their like low hanging fruit all the time. Like an example is that you have shown me a beautiful style of engaging me in what I'm passionate about, and really hearing me deeply, which is an art form, in my opinion. And to me, it reveals. So I appreciate that deeply, and it allows me to say my piece here and there, and it reveals to me your open nature. How not great would it be if you weren't open? If you just were, you were interviewing me, but you were in effect just delivering everything you've known that has nothing to do with me. As an interviewee, it would be distressing. So therefore, how great is it that you have a true openness, that your heart really listens, and you're taking in the truth of what I'm saying, and you're hearing me deeply, and you're able to then create a conversation. That to me is a precious quality of generosity, which is a quality of greatness. It's a reverence to the beauty of other people. So that's what I see. That's greatness I see in you right off.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for seeing me.
You're welcome. It's there for everybody to see, and it's there all the time if we allow it if we allow it to show up.
Yeah. And what an art form. And it's something that what I've seen is it is something you can learn. And so I want to take this from, as a parent, I really understand this. And then as a relationship coach, I really understand this, because what happens with children, whether or not they're quote unquote difficult or not, but I think most children are used to this way of being raised where most attention goes on them when they have succeeded in winning some sort of big award, or they've really messed something up and angered their parents, right? And so like you get these two extremes, and all the space in between, which is the majority of the time, it's just like, be careful, good job, be careful, good job. and it gets really, I think what I see is these children grow up and they become adults, And then these patterns are still ingrained in them. They need to do something really amazing. They need to like get the new job or get married or, hit one of these high points to receive praise.
I know that thinking about being here today, I thought of adult relationship. The way we're raised because of our exposure to life on planet Earth, we have this ability to ward off, to reset around what's not great, and we almost pretend we don't see the not great, and we get transfixed on this new human being who's entered our life as adults, and we are celebrating everything that's great about them. We're telling our friends about what's great in them. And then, life happens, gravity of planet Earth happens, things happen, chemistry wears off. And the next thing we know, we don't, all we see is the not great, which was there the whole time. It was always there the whole time. But in the beginning, we have this exquisite ability to just see the wonderland of how great this person is. And, to me, the challenge in any relationship, friends, lovers, partners, whoever it is to keep that greatness alive. It's not about pretending the non-greatness isn't there. It's not about stressing over, everything that happens on this planet that can be erosive. It's about learning that we can take every bit of the intensities that are coming our way and turning that into things that'll serve us. So my faith is in greatness. I believe that even in the relationship within, if I can move the needle of my respectfulness or my kindness, or truly, we don't know how great can be.
Yeah.
We see somebody whose mind-boggling compassion just inspires us. And, then the next day we might see somebody who's 10 levels beyond that. So we're all explorers of how great can be. And, my belief is if I can move the needle of my, kindness or honesty or integrity or a transparency, even a hair, then everything in my life will come to a greater value as a result of that. Corollary in parenting is true too. If I could build the inner wealth of a child by way of the things I verbalize, if I could go the extra mile in verbalizing something with a little more elaboration. I never want to lie to a child. I'm not going to BS anybody. I want to just tell the truth, which might be, if nothing's going wrong at this moment, then there's a lot of things going right. And the same is true for, our other relationships, whether they be our friends or our lovers. We have this ability to serve their cause, our cause. It's all related. In a way, I see you smiling.
It's all related. I have two. So one of the things we started off yesterday, and I did a little mini masterclass. And one of the things I kicked off with is in order to have a healthy relationship with others, the foundation, the starting point is really having a healthy relationship with yourself and your own emotions and what's going on in your internal landscape. And so I'm just curious, how do you use Nurtured Heart approach first for yourself? How do you speak to yourself in a way that would be an example of using Nurtured Heart approach for you?
Yeah, I actually love that question. I feel like for me, I want to go the extra mile. I want to see if I could change my default setting. I used to think I was a positive person until I had an issue come up in my life, and I realized, wow, I've just spent for the last 10 days, I've spent 3 to 6 hours, worrying, doubting, fearful, and I think nothing of camping out and perseverating when things go wrong, but I don't do a hair of that when things go right. So I've decided in this lifetime, I've challenged myself to see if I can use nurture heart approach to change my default setting. So I like welcoming in all feelings, all emotions. I've kind of grooming my heart to welcome, scared. Today I had waves of fright and waves of being scared about a situation that's looming, and I had some anger. I don't want to dance around that or pretend it's not there, but I want to actually breathe that with my heart. I want to breathe that deeply and believe that my heart can take that and alchemize that very same energy that could be problematic and erosive. I want to use that as fuel. I want to
So,
conspire to make that into greatness and tell
yeah.
myself about my greatness. So I go the extra mile. I might be delusional and a weird example, but that's how I do it.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you an example and maybe you can help me. So something I hear a lot of people, whether they're in a relationship or they're not currently in a relationship, doesn't matter. There is this deep fear of abandonment, right? It's like, if I'm not good enough, or if I don't do the thing, or, then I'm afraid I will be abandoned. So when that fear comes in, if that fear is washing over me and it's hitting me, like I think culturally the options are ignore it or run away from it or pretend it's not there, right? It's like all these other options, but you're saying lean into it, welcome these feelings. So what would I do? Okay, I notice that I'm feeling a lot of fear of abandonment. Now what do I do? How do I alchemize this?
Yeah, and so there's I'm going to actually dance with you here on.
Great.
I know you're a dancer, so
I am.
In our society, we can throw a blanket over all that and go, this is way too uncomfortable. I'm not gonna go there, push it aside, or the corollary is just go, okay, my heart has handled everything up until now, no matter how distressing or crazy. We've all had our fair share of crazy. We're here. That's proof our heart has handled it.
Yeah.
Even the things we call brokenhearted, we've handled it. So my belief is we can just go, okay, I'm going to reset. I'm going to breathe in that fear of abandonment. And you know what? I have 10 more waves of being scared. I'm going to breathe that in too. It becomes soup. And I'm going to breathe in, wait a minute, I have anger about that because I don't like being in that disempowered situation. I have some fury about that. I have some rage about that. It's all part of the soup. I'm going to breathe that all in. It all comes, I feel like we get the perfect amount of history, personal history in any given situation. So, that might be fine to feel. We may not even know we have a sense of abandonment until it hits. But then when it hits, to me, the self-therapy is drinking it in like elixir.
Yeah.
And churning it like compost and using it to nourish. What am I going to nourish? What do I want right now? Okay, I'm going to breathe it in. I want to feel a sense of empowerment. I am. See, here's the magic. When you say, okay, I'm not lacking completely in empowerment. I have some. I want to nourish that. I want to grow that. So I'm gonna own my empowerment. I am empowerment. I am the beauty of being honest with myself. I am the beauty of feeling my feelings. I am the greatness of asking for what I want, even though I'm feeling a little bit wishy-washy because of my abandonment. It's not about making the problem go away. It's about dancing ourselves into our greatness. At some point of our greatness, the abandonment issues are less or negligible or not even an issue anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're saying ignore them. It feels like you're saying there are lots of different people or emotions you're dancing with. Who are you choosing as your main dance partner right now, right? So it's like, yeah,
Instead of bracing, we're embracing.
yeah, it's beautiful, and you're not faking. It's not saying fake it till you make it. It's more of the, hey, a part of you is feeling this fear, and a part of you is also empowered. So which one are you going to give more energy and attention to, and where can you borrow from here and bring it over here, and really choose to dance in this space? It's beautiful.
Exactly. I came up through the world of psychology, and 10 different theories of the day back then. It was one outlook or another about, if we only understand this enough, if we only analyze it enough, if we only get it all out in the open, everything's going to be okay. But the problem is, if I have a fear of abandonment, I could actually make it worse by spending 3 hours a day worrying about it or doubting myself about it. I'd rather just go, oh, beautiful, abandonment. Now this is wild. I'm not saying you could wake up tomorrow morning and do this like it's nothing. I've practiced this for a number of years, but I've gotten to the point where I go, I could see myself going down a rabbit hole, and I could renew myself by going, wait a minute, I'm going to just breathe this. I don't know where it's going. It could be endless. It could be a tornado, but I'm going to believe I could handle this. And I feel like, breathing air is one directional, in and out. We could feel it, the flow of breath, but breathing into our hearts, it comes from every direction. So I'm almost going to feel like I'm vacuuming all my cells, everywhere I've stored up all these years of abandonment and fear. I'm going to breathe that all in, and I am going to turn it into something useful. And I'm going to own it. I am the greatness of confidence. I'm the greatness of perseverance. I'm the greatness of determination. It doesn't matter. It's what your billboard sign shows you. And starting anywhere is a great place to start.
I love it.
It doesn't matter.
I love it. So good.
We're all constellations of greatness anyway. We may have 30 qualities in common, but you, Ari, have 17 that are unique flavors of you, and you during the course of your week, you decide where you're going to pour your nutrition.
Beautiful.
Your happiness, your joy. It's not just pain, it's everything. It's ecstasy, it's your bliss, it's everything under the sun.
Oh, so juicy. I love it. So I want to know, my next question, I'm already thinking about like people in relationships, right? This is one of the big invitations, is how you freshen things up, because people are often getting these points of stagnation. And one of the things that I see over and over and over again is that in these points of stagnation, that they just don't feel seen. They don't feel like their partner sees them. They don't feel like their partner hears them. They don't feel loved and appreciated in a special way anymore. Like things are just, meh. One of the things that really draws me to Nurtured Heart approach is because it's all about seeing you in all the times. And so can you give an example of how someone could recognize their partner? Or speak to their partner in a new way?
It could be blatant honesty. It could be, it's not to me about cheerleading and being all, rosy. It's about it's the nitty-gritty of life. I can tell. It seems to me that you're feeling unseen. I might start there. I'm getting a sense that you are wanting to be seen more by me, and I just want you to know I appreciate that you're letting me know that.
Mm.
in a couple of different ways. And I appreciate that you're asking for what you want in a couple of different ways.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that that's not easy to do. And that there is a weight on on you, and I'm feeling, um, I might not even go anywhere else than that as a starting point, or I could say, and that reveals to me that you want this to work. It reveals to me that you care deeply about us and that you have a sense of what's going to be helpful.
Mm.
And um, that's greatness I see in you. So it could start right there. I
Yeah.
mean, it could start, it's almost like you get to dissect the moment, embrace a moment, and cull out the truth of that moment. So it doesn't have to be fake or arbitrary. It could be right there in the grit of a situation. Somebody's like edgy with me, and I might say, I get that, that you're being, in what I perceived as edgy, I get that you're asking for what you want, and then you're a little mad at me, and and I know that's not easy to show your feelings sometimes, and you might have been afraid of repercussions, that asking for what you want was going to get me upset. So I appreciate your courage and your honesty
Yeah.
to ask what you want for what you want.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. What about
It's either beautiful or delusional, but it's how it's really what is to me now just staring me in the face. Why do I need to exit reality
yeah,
to create the nourishment that I'm really wanting, or my partner's really wanting?
that's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, what I so many times someone comes to me and they're like, I just don't know how to tell my partner. And they say this beautiful thing. That's just like the truth of their heart and soul. And I'm like, if I could just like just do that. Just like, and it's so much easier said than done. It's so easier to tell someone else who you don't have this history with, who you don't have baggage with, all these feelings of whatever it is. But when you can really feel this other, your beloved's heart, or your friend's heart, or whoever it is, your parents' heart, your child's heart, then we connect, and it's like, oh, then we can make different decisions, and we can really understand what's going on in their internal landscape. So it's how do we lean into this? It's really powerful, and it's one of the reasons why I think that this is so amazing. Is there a way that you use this tool in times of conflict?
I do. I think those are precious times. I want to say one more thing. Not everybody rolls over and makes it easy to speak to their greatness. So sometimes, an example of conflict is when somebody says, "Oh, you're just saying that," or um, or they get annoyed for saying that, and I say, "I see you're annoyed," you know, and I'm getting the impression that it's hard. I'm not going to stop telling you about your greatness. Sorry, that's not an option.
It's hard to receive
That I
if
say
you've
that
never,
all the
especially if you've
time.
never
Thank you.
learned to receive.
Right, right. To me, the cure is going bigger. To me, the cure is not dancing around it, but dancing with it, and coming up. I have an incredible daughter who grew up receiving my compliments well, but as an adult, she makes me, she doesn't necessarily go, "Oh, thank you so much, you've changed my life." I have to be more stealth.
Mm.
I have to be that much more ardent and adamant that I am not gonna get blocked by this, you know. Same thing with myself. I don't want to let I don't want to let anything stop me from. I don't want any excuses. You know, I get that I'm in a, you know, in a challenged mood today. I'm gonna do everything I can to drink in my challenging, you know, emotions and feelings and thoughts. It's all fuel if I let it, and I'm not gonna I'm not going to let some one situation come up or one person come up that's going to stop me. So maybe I'm not sure if that's a good example of conflict. Give me another example of conflict,
Yeah. So,
and I'll try and.
yeah. So what I often see is, I mean, there's a lot of different patterns that people have, but oftentimes there's a feeling of disconnect. Maybe one person says or does something that triggers the other person, right? And it's like now their wall is up, and things are starting to get
Yeah,
maybe snippy, or they're shut down or withdrawn. There's something going on. And now the tension is going to start snowballing, right? Things start to build, we start to bounce off each other. And how could I, in this place of like at least one wall is up, about to have two walls go up, how can we use your tool to stop the negative pattern, the unhealthy pattern of we're going to snowball this until an explosion or till whatever, but
right.
really use this as a pausing point and change the direction of the relationship and what's about to happen?
Well, I think on two fronts. One is how I interact with myself. I don't want to start transfixing on my own negative side of it. So I'm one of the stands of Nurtured Heart approach is I'm not going to give the gift of me to negativity. The second is I am going to um, make it my mission to see the good and great in what's in front of me. So I'm going to take that to heart for myself, you know, so that I don't become, you know, a part of making things worse. I'm also going to do that for that partner. I'm also going to do that. So I'm probably going to be very um, very clear that you know I have a personal line. I'm not going to do anything that's going to corrode relationship. That might be my rule. I'm
That's
not going to do
it's a
anything that's going to make
huge
the relationship
boundary. It's a
worse.
beautiful boundary.
It's it's a great boundary. I have a friend who lives that all the time in and I cherish that when he brings it up. And 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 then you decide, okay, that boundary means I'm not going to give energy or relationship to what's going wrong, but I am going to get that much more deliberate and fierce and tenacious in giving my energy to what it is that I can help with in ways that I could serve this relationship. And it may just be, you know, saying, I see you, you know, acknowledging, I get that what's come up is a struggle. I get that you're working on your end of things. I get that you're mad at me and you're trying to make things work. Um, and here's what that says about you, that I want to applaud, because you could have run away. You could have run off. You could have flipped me off. You could have thrown things at me. How not great would any of that be?
Yeah.
You could be cussing me out. You could be going off and seeing other people. So how not great would that be? So therefore, how great is it that you're trying to work this through, even though it's distressing, even though, you know, we don't have an answer yet, even though you know I'm not being as much fun as you want me to be right now. So, you know, I just believe there are starting points that if we're clear about where we stand and what we want to do and build inner wealth in ourselves and others, then we have at least a leg to stand on.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So beautiful. I'm going to pause this for just a moment, and we're back. That was so beautiful to hear about. And so now I just want to lean in and see, Howard, is there anything in your life experiences, I know that a lot of the focus of your work has been with children, and these children turn into adults. And so now, from this point of, what kind of tips, advice, anything that you haven't gotten to speak into yet, for people, for adults who want to be in a relationship or are currently in relationship, would you have that you're like, I really would invite you to explore this or try this?
I think the thing that captivates me these days is this, let me start over.
Yeah.
Me having gone down this path for 30 years with kids, and now with adults, now in leadership, now in the inside out version. What captivates me at this point is how we can further our own we could show up in this world endlessly, iterations. We're not a fixed, this is, oh, sorry, this is the way I am. If people here who are joining you in this forum are open, I mean, by definition, people have signed up because they're trying to listen for wisdom, and they're trying to grow. And it's not so innocent. It's because you're purposeful. You're here with a vision, and you're here to absorb the great thoughts and prepositions of other people. And you've brought some wonderful thought leaders into play. So you all who are on the call are not so innocent. You're conspiring to be the best you can be.
Yes.
And that reveals to me that you are fans of greatness, whether you are allergic to that word or not. So I'm captivated in how we can move our own needle and affect our world. It's amazing to me that if I feel like I've taken even an avalanche, even a tsunami of strong feelings, and I've harvested those strong feelings and I've turned it into, okay, I am that much more tenacious in my courage. That much more fierce in my empowerment. I go out into the world the next subsequent days and I see, oh my God, people are responding to me differently. I am playing differently. I'm interacting differently with people. So we're a moving feast. So I would suggest my last thing that I wish for you, and I would regret if I didn't end on this, is give yourself the beauty of an experience of breathing with your heart. Take even absurdly normal energies. You're just feeling okay. It doesn't have to be anything in particular, and just breathe it in and go, okay, I am going to turn this into the greatness of I am here in this forum because I have a passion for life, and I want to be in relationship in connected, harmonious, beautiful, uplifting ways. That shows me the beauty of my great soul. That shows me the beauty. I am the beauty of a great soul who wants to be in relationship in optimal ways. And just imagine sending that feast of energy out to every cell of your body, the trillions of cells in our body. It's like sending our energy out to the stars, beyond the confines of our body. To me, imagination is very integral to Nurtured Heart approach. It's play. We get to play, and we get to bring this to our kids, and we get to bring this to our partners and everybody in between. Hope that helps.
I love it. That was so helpful, so beautiful, so good.
I saw you doing exactly what I was suggesting. So, I love that. And it's such an honor with you. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Ari.
Oh my goodness.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you for
Howard.
letting me
Joy to
share.
have you here. Thank you so much. And how do people find you? I'm going to post your links. Is there anything else you want to share before you leave about how people can engage
Yeah,
with
I am bringing forth a new platform called Nurtured Heart Institute. It should be nurturedheartinstitute.com. It should be live in the next couple of days, if not now.
Yeah.
It might be live. So I'm excited, and it's going to be a learning platform, and I'll get to share more about everything I talked
Amazing.
about. And I'm have your fearless leader and do some kind of workshop with you. So we'll do something on relationship.
I would love this. Thank you so much. This is so cool. I'm really excited to see what is launching soon and to connect with you and your community more. This is such beautiful work. Thank you for this gift. It is really a gift that you've given the world, a gift that you've given me, and it's impacted my family and it's impacted this community. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Really, really appreciate you. So lots of love and have an amazing night.
Blessings and joy.
Thank you. Bye.
Everybody.